CP Pinball, take two. Basically, we're dedicated to the preservation of pinball machines. We put our heart and soul into them, we fix them up, and we get them looking like new. So you can come in once a month, pay $10, get in, and you can play for 6 hours for free. Or anywhere you went, there was a pinball machine. Started playing pinball up till the time I was about 10, and then I kind of laxed off a little bit, played some school sports, some core league type stuff, and then 81 came around, and the video game explosion happened. And boy, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Centipede, so I got really hooked, ventured on to high school, and continued to play video games. But after a while, I realized I couldn't win free video games, and my money was limited, being 16 or 17 years old, so I found out you could win free games playing pinball, so I kind of went back to it. Stopped playing for about 10 years after I got married, or so. My wife's a night nurse, so I come home to an empty house. Can only watch TV for so long, can only cut the grass and mow the bushes. It's the wrong way to do it, but it looks good at my house. So I started playing pinball again. So I started going to local bars and taverns and bowling alleys and playing pinball. And I was really disgusted by dropping a quarter or 50 cents into a game, and the games weren't working. You know, flipper was weak, steal my money, just got tiresome. So at that point, I decided to buy a pinball machine. So in 2001, I bought my first game, which was a Hurricane. Every game you see here, with maybe the exception of 1 or 2, were bought as broken games. Somebody was basically getting ready to throw them out, or they didn't know what they had, they were just trying to get rid of them. The problem with the pinball machines is that they're not played all the time and not maintained. They basically rot. If the wood gets wet, it rots. If the playfield isn't taken care of, basically the paint peels off. There are computers and batteries in the back of the boards of these games. If they're not maintained, the batteries will leak acid and cause damage. So we basically bring them in-house, take everything off of the pinball machine, wash it really well, do all the replacement parts, do any electrical upgrades that need to be done, possibly replace a computer board. So yeah, everything here was one time a piece of junk. The problem with pinball, it was in its heydays in the 70s. In the 80s it had a small resurgence, but by 1990 it started to lose its luster, and I think it's because the video games were so good. I mean, you can go online and play Lord of the Rings or World of Warcraft, and they're just incredible. The amount of gameplay that you get and what you get is just awesome. I mean, even I play them. But with the pinball machines, it's never the same game twice. So the playfield is sloped, there's a steel ball, about 1 inch in diameter that rolls around at fast velocity. The game is ever changing. So I'm always still drawn to pinball for the action and the variety. I mean, the game is different every time you play it. You know, vendors rule this market. The guys who, when you go to the bowling alley or the quick shop and you see a vending machine or a candy machine or a cigarette machine, those are all owned by vendors. Vendors make money when you buy product. They put a big buck hunter into a bar, and that machine costs $6,000 new. They'll pull $300 out of that machine every week. So you do the math to figure out it takes you under a year to pay for that game. They buy a pinball machine for $4,000 and they pull $25 out of it every week. Now it takes them 4 years to get their money back. And the problem are the pinballs need to be maintained. The buck hunter, worst thing you have to do is replace the gun on it because some drunk got mad and smashed it when he didn't get to kill the $4. Pinball machines, dozens and hundreds of working parts. They really have to be maintained, and most of the time the operators just don't want to mess with it. What do you want to do, the hard work or the easy work? Well, they're picking the easy work, the fast cash. Basically, in the 70s we had 7 manufacturers in the U.S., 1 in Spain and 2 in Australia. But with the decline of pinball, we have 1 left in Stern. Basically, most manufacturers were gone by 92, and in 99, Williams was the last one to close up, and Stern was a manufacturer from the 80s who closed up in 85, but was lucky enough to buy the assets of an old pinball company and went back into business, and they are therefore the only manufacturer left. And it will probably remain that way until they go out of business. So pinballs are becoming a thing of the past.